that hobby farm mortgage has been a weird space. There's agriculture lending and residential, and we've even had an issue with that. You try and buy that rural property, it just doesn't work well because there's too much land, too much value, not enough house. So I know you're going to go into that, but when I heard that this is now something that's available, I'm like, fantastic. Let's talk about it. What qualifies as a hobby farm?
Well, I mean, for us, a hobby farm is something that has some agricultural components to the property, and that component might be a barn or a field or a house or a coop. But the reality is, it's not really an active farm. It's just a property that happens to be rural. And I mean, you hit on it there when you talked about it being between agricultural and residential. There are plenty of people, and we saw this really particularly since COVID, where people really wanted to get out of the city and kind of get their own space, and they were looking to buy these properties that, a beautiful home on a 5 or 15 or 50 or 100-acre property that wasn't really an active farm, but it had agricultural components to it, whether that was a barn or maybe some hay at the back or a coop or a pen. And traditional banks that we're selling on just residences often don't like what that looks like. When we define a hobby farm compared to a commercial farm, it's a pretty simple metric for us. We're using gross farming income. So for us, we're looking at a property and saying, well, does that property generate farming income? And if it does, how much farming income does it generate? If it generates less than $20,000 in gross farming income on an annual basis, that to us is what we qualified under our hobby farm or rural residential product. If it's greater than $20,000, we still have products for that, but that is more of a commercial entity and a commercial file that we're looking in that space. So the simple definition for us is a property on acreage outside of town, often on well and septic, but the income is a driver. And when that gross farming income is less than $20,000, that makes a deal for us eligible under the hobby farm.